True to her word, Jet sent me a reminder to get over to Golden Zone Fire for some morning practice. I enjoy playing online and all, but matching against someone only a few feet away is way more productive. Talking over games in person makes it easier to get feedback and improve, and that's what I need more than anything else even. The sting from my failure at the VSL qualifier will take time to fade. I don't want to experience that pain ever again. That's a bold thing to say. We've gone back here? This is where we're practicing. We don't have a dedicated practicing centre. We pay to practice in someone's... Don't we have laptops? In South Korea, did they just ban laptops? Is this what's happened? I catch sight of Jet in the middle row, her attention locked on a ladder game. Without disturbing her, I take a seat at her side and watch the match unfold. Furious taps and clicks rattle her keyboard. Her focus never drops from the game, much less her monitor. She's ahead, though not by much. It's not long until she extends her lead in the late game, and a few minutes later heaves a sigh of relief when her opponent rage quits out. Do I need to explain what rage quitting is? It's like quitting a game and going, "Oh my god, you suck!" Like, despite... I never understood it, really. Because in a game like this, you don't just randomly get lucky. Like, it's pure strategy. If you've lost, you've done something wrong. And saying someone's strategy isn't valid doesn't count either. You're just being a dick at that point. There's no need for me to consult my Korean skills to understand his final message. Zerg Imba. Means Zerg OP. You actually showed. Color me surprised. Color me... Is that something people say in Korea? Color me surprised? Not even spelt right. Rubbish. How could I not? The better question is how you have the free time to practice with some amateur. I'm the charitable sort, obviously. Anyway, you're here, so let's stop wasting time. You've paid for your PC, yeah? I nod and log myself in at the station next to hers. A minute later, the two of us are grinding out practice matches. Do I impress her? Before we get into the next game, I catch sight of a familiar face coming into the cafe. Huh, isn't that the same guy from last night? Hey Jet, do you know who that is? I thumb in the stranger's direction as he passes us by, his attention occupied by a cell phone screen. A cell phone. Can you tell this game's made by Americans? By a mobile phone screen. Jet trails a look after him, wrinkles her nose and shrugs. He's a KPGA player. Protoss, what about him? Come on, let's get into the game already. Seriously? He was all out attack yesterday. What's he doing outside of his team house 2 days in a row? They're only figuratively chained to their desks. Not all of them are shut in. Stop wasting time. Let's go. I double take away from Jet to find the player in question seated a few rows in front of us. And he's got the StarCraft 2 client open. Why would a KPGA player spend his practice time on anything but Brood War? Well, we're not going to find out because we don't care about him, so YOLO. I should ask him for a game. I think I'm going to ask him for a game. What? No! Hold on, wait, you can't just... But before she can stop me, I rise and shuffle my way past the row of computers. Jet shoots me a withering glare over the top of her station before ducking back down. I'm not surprised, to be fair. Like, we're being dicks here. It's like, I know I wanted to practice with you, but actually I'm just gonna go do it with someone else. Like, no. Whatever. Even though I barely interacted with the guy, I can't help but feel a little anxious as I edge closer to his PC. Sure, he was a bit rude when we spoke, but the chance to challenge a KPGA pro is too good to pass up, especially if I'm trying to step up my game. He's about to jump into a match when I clear my throat right behind him. He suddenly alt-taps and then turns to regard me as through half-lidded eyes. What? Excuse me, would you mind a practice game? No, I'm just here to... He pauses, recognition flits across his face. You're the chick from All Out Attack yesterday, aren't you? I was a girl! I forgot about that. For a moment, he looks ready to dismiss me and get to laddering, but at the last second, he nods. Alright, one game. Oh, is this where we're going to be like, hey, you should totally quit Brood War and get into StarCraft 2 instead? With a final nod, I return to my station. A moment later, he and I share a game lobby and are just about ready to begin. He's playing on a barcode account, typical. How have I still not managed to catch this guy's name? How did we add him? Oh, right, yeah, I remember now. The option in the game which is like, hey, there's these amount of players near you. A sharp tap against my headphones announces Jet's return in displeasure. You're obnoxious. If you lose and embarrass me by association, I'm going to pretend I don't know you. Anything else Jet has to say is drowned out along with the sounds of Golden Zone Fire when I pull the ear pad back on. He plays Protoss. That is the only information we have about him. I hope we actually get to start like making choices in this game. And it's not just kinetic. I'll be so disappointed if this is kinetic. If the idea behind practicing against a good player is to improve, I should probably play standard. Still, the temptation to all-in is always there. How sick would it be to grab a quick win on a KPGA player? Go for an early attack. Play out a standard game. There are choices. Awesome. Okay, so if the early attack doesn't work in StarCraft 2 and he defends it, if you haven't got anything building behind that, and you normally don't because you're focusing all your attention on this attack, so you're not building anything behind it, because, I mean, what would be the point? You're looking to end the game early. You probably lost. But I'm looking to improve, but my playstyle is quite aggressive half the time. It's sort of 50-50 as to what I do. It almost never goes to the late game, because people are better than me then. Should I go out? I'll go for an early attack, and if that doesn't work, we'll play out a standard game. You know what? Let's just put a safety save in there. All right, safety save. It's a very nice menu, actually. I haven't complimented that. It's a very nice menu. Look at it. It even comes out from the side. Go for an early attack. Screw it, I'm not in the mood for macro. Macro is like at large controlling everything you own, making sure your economy constantly flows and you've constantly got stuff being built and units being trained and so on. I placed 2 early barracks mid-map, just outside his scouting path. With luck he won't see my strategy until it's coming at him. My heart pounds as I watch my marine count grow. He still hasn't scouted my all-in. Yeah, that's this what an all-in is. We're going for a marine rush. This is a huge advantage. I've got this. See, there are 3 races, Zerg, Protoss and Terran. And Terran is, it's really full of skill, especially with the all-ins. With Zerg, you need to sort of micro around quite a lot, and Protoss, you have to sort of balance between Zealots and Stalkers if you're doing this sort of all-in. Terran, so easy. Spam A. Marine, 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 Marine. You can get these 2 things here, they're called barracks. You can get detachment on them, and you can build 2 Marines at once. So difficult. This is a huge advantage. I've got this. I bring my Marines up to his base and charge up the ramp leading to his high ground. I leave an SCV on the low ground to construct a bunker just in case I have to fall back. He retreats with his lone zealot and begins to chrono boost. Chrono boost makes whatever he's building in that building go faster. Something out of his gateway, likely a stalker. He still hasn't pulled his probes. Probes are the workers. Pulling is getting them out of the way so they don't die to our marine fire. So I start heading towards the mineral line. Mineral line is where they get the money from. Whoa. Shit, he preemptively pulled a handful of probes and hit them out of my vision. With my exit cut off, I won't be able to escape. I don't need to explain that we're not doing well here. That's a stalker, by the way. These here are Marines. Oh, there we are. Things look even worse when he gets his first stalker out. He might actually hold this. I do everything I can to salvage the situation, but it's too late. The single Marine I managed to get into my bunker is useless at this point. From the low ground, I can't do any damage to his units. My attack was completely routed. Even though he didn't scout out the rush, he defended without breaking a sweat. That's quite abnormal. Fuck. Okay, right, let's just go back and load and play standard. Okay, so this game doesn't favour the sort of aggressive players. We'll play out a standard game. So this is a starport. You can build air things from that. Factory, you can build tanks and mines from that. And these here are barracks. This is the build 2 Marines at once. This means you can get a Marauder. Okay, are we all in? Awesome. It's probably best that I follow Jet's advice. So for a standard macro management build, this guy's build permitting. I take my natural expansion. Natural expansion is the expansion closest. You put another base there and start getting more money, right? And begin taking up. This match progresses quietly with only a few brief skirmishes with his stalkers and my Marines. My scans show that he's not doing anything out of the ordinary. One of us has to make a move sooner or later. I start constructing my starport and researching my bio upgrades. I'm surprised to find that they finish without any pressure coming from the Protoss army. Normally means he's bad. One of you needs to be the aggressor, and if he's not being the aggressor, then you need to be the aggressor. You can't just let someone sit there and be like, right, I shall let them finish their upgrades. No, that's a terrible idea. This could be a good time to go for some drop play and try to snipe some of his critical tech buildings. Okay. I mean, they're using a lot of terms which people who don't play StarCraft knows. I mean, look, drop play. That's not in the glossary. No one's going to know what that is. Drop play is when you put units into, like, ships and fly them over to the enemy base and then just drop them behind enemy lines and try and kill, like, off some, like, workers who are getting gold and so on. And it sort of disorientates their general building because suddenly they're distracted and can't work on their builds and stuff they're doing. Okay, awesome, sweet. Snipe some of his critical tech buildings. I don't need to explain that, do I? If I were to play an aggressive drop style, I need to be confident in my control and the fact that I can outplay him. On the other hand, this game has been exceptionally quiet. If I could gather up another expansion, I'll have a serious economic advantage going into the late game. Risk an early third base. If he's not done anything, chances are he's not going to be aggressive now. That would be mental. I cut Marines long enough to save for a quick third base. It finishes before my first dropship is even out. Just as my expansion is about to land, a red blip shows up on my minimap. Is that a void ray? I have muscle turrets to defend, so I should be fine. Void ray is a flying thing. Wait, no! It's floating on the outskirts of my base. A warp prism? He'll be able to warp his units into my base. My army is completely out of position. Alright, I lied. Then, maybe. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. He starts warping in just outside of my static defenses. Zealots rush into my base and tear my mineral line to pieces before I can move units back to defend. This is bad. Oh god, he's of my natural too. He's got such a big army. Yes. 8 stalkers. Whoa. I can't keep my defenses up with my economy crippled. Damn. I spread myself way too thin. If only I'd done a better job scouting. We didn't get a chance to scout? Aggressively dropping minions behind the enemy line is not scouting. Grumble, grumble. With my production structures camped, my units die almost the second they finish training. That's checkmate. Yep, and then Joe's nowhere to be seen. Okay, we'll go back and do the other one. We need to win this game, right? Come on. So, play out a standard game, was it? And then we'll skip here and then get aggressive with dropships. That's what he does to us. So it might be a base race. Dropship play is the defining character of a top Terran player. If I win this, it's good indication that I can stand toe-to-toe with the best players in Korea. So basically, you see these things here? Yes, the big ones are Marauders, the little ones are Marines. They go up in these dropships, which are also, like, heal also from the... I don't get it either. But... they then go to the enemy base, these things are dropped, and they start killing shit. Awesome. Just like he did with his war prisms. It's time to put my practice to work. I gather enough units for an attack at my starport, and as the first dropship finishes. It's imperative he doesn't see me move out, so I make sure the watchtowers are clear and avoid places where Protoss players commonly leave their observers. When my dropships are in the clear, I fly straight into his base. He's unprepared for the attack, and I load all my units, rush to snipe some important... I load all my units... Okay, I assume that means to rush to snipe some important tech buildings. With the damage to his infrastructure done, my units retreat for the safety of the dropship. The game is going incredibly well, so I decide to pull back on my aggression and build up an army for the final push. He's been too busy defending to get a decent standing army. And when I roll in with my amassed units, he kites back, bobbing and weaving with my forces while delivering pot shots. I give chase. The taste of victory is tantalizingly close. I managed to corner his army. I mean, that looks pretty close. You get the Zealots on the Marauders there? Stalkers behind, you should be alright. But just as I move to deliver the final blow, he flanks me with half a dozen Templars showering my army in high damage storms. I pull back frantically, but my army is left in tatters. I try my hardest to gather enough units to mount a second offensive, but he continues to crush my attacks with only a handful of well-upgraded and well-microed Zealots. Stalkers and Archons. How the hell did this happen? My lead is gone. Frustrated, I box all of my workers and charge towards his base for a final attack. Okay, this is a proper all-in. The tactic is you put your workers here in front of your army. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure quite how we've got this far into the game, and this is the only thing we have, but whatever. But yeah, you put these at the top, they tank damage, alright? They're just there as meat shields. Everything else goes and attacks. Awesome. I should have enough power to take a direct engagement. I roll through his fourth base uncontested. Yes, he's giving up ground because he knows he can't face me. Emboldened, I drive up the ramp leading to his natural to end the game. We've lost. Yeah, and finally find myself face to face with an ambush. My front line evaporates before I can issue the command to retreat, and he crushes what remains of my army a few moments later. I can't believe it, I lost. I stare blankly at the screen for almost 10 seconds before I finally type GG and quit out of the match. Oh well, at least that's honourable. Yeah, and as promised, Jet is nowhere to be seen. Dumb? I wish there was sort of an option not to do that, to be fair. That would have seemed so much better, but whatever. Hey, you actually know how to play. I wasn't expecting that. I'd have to try. It's a compliment regardless of how he said it. Though it was difficult to be graceful in defeat, I tried my best anyway. I played my game the best I could, kept vision on you, dropped when I could, but it wasn't enough. Sucks. It's one thing to lose carelessly, but it's another when everything goes as planned and you fail anyway. His grin darkens to one without humour. Is this guy serious? What the hell is your problem? You demand a game and whine when you get a little pushback? Look who's talking. Everyone knows your type, the foreigner out to make a name for herself. You fly out here on a whim and waste 6 weeks training. You aren't the first and unfortunately won't be the last. Your plane ticket doesn't buy you the right to call yourself a pro gamer, save your money and your time and go back home. Who do we think is the villain in this game? Kind of annoying that they bother putting choices in just to lose anyway. That's always happening. Like, you're always going to lose. Yeah, whatever. I feel the heat rise to my face, half in anger, half in embarrassment. I've never dealt well with confrontation. He's right, to be fair. We were being a dick. But before I can say anything else, Jet steps out from around the corner and cuts between the two of us. Still great at making friends, huh, Bolt? He glances between the two of us, surprised. After a moment, pause, the so-called Bolt seizes back his smirk and meets Jet with a step forward. Been a while, hasn't it? What's a supposed Star League champion doing with trash like this? Bolt looks past her and tilts his head towards me. I take a step towards him, but an open palm from Jet stops me from going any further. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Jumping ship to a scene bloated with foreign money has its upsides, but it won't be long before you forget the dignity of a pro gamer. The dignity of a pro gamer, huh? You make it sound so distinguished. You've changed for the worse and you don't even realise it. How sad. Shouldn't be much longer until the KPGA finally accepts that there's no future in Brood War. You're smart enough to know what happens then. But hey, the scene could always use more casters. No, it can't. There are so many casters. Whatever you say. For the record, what excuse did you give your coach for another day off? VIP's a little more lax than Shock T1, but I might want to borrow it someday. I would explain what that last sentence meant, but I have no idea. That could mean anything. No idea. At that, Bolt scowls. Jet doesn't waste the opening and strikes again. Don't worry, whatever that says. Your secret's safe with me. Run along now. I'm sure you've got coins to flip or something. Yes, at the arcade where you belong, even though you just beat me. The standoff lasts a minute longer before Bolt lets out a slazy shrug, instantly killing off the intensity in his expression. I've got better things to do than offer advice to a mouthy chobo. Do what you want. He thumbs his nose up at me and returns to his station without another word. As soon as Bolt's out of sight, Jet takes my arm in a vice and practically drags me away. You had the game won. What the hell was that? An SCV pull at 15 minutes? Is this what they teach you on NA servers? NA being North America. That is really dumb. Like, I think I said so at the time. That doesn't seem like a very clever idea. Even after a heated confrontation, her concern is at the match before anything else. I almost laugh. My drops crippled him. I thought it would be enough to end the game. Drops crippled him. He had 4 bases. We had 2. To build units for 2 minutes and then go roll him. Don't be so damn impatient. Your upgrades were late too. Her pointed critique diffuses the tension from moments prior, even if it doesn't exactly make me feel any better. When she's done going through my long list of mistakes, Jet flicks her hand back towards the PCs. Come on, queue up a game against me. We just got told.